everybody, Jenny Guthrie at Glow Medical Aesthetics here, and I'm here for our Business Tip Tuesday. As many of you may or may not know, I was unfortunately diagnosed with breast cancer in the beginning of January of 2023. Thank God I am cancer-free today. I did not have to do chemo or radiation, so I'm grateful and thankful for that. So I say all that to say I had a hiatus from my business tips in 2023 because I just wasn't able to do it. So we're gonna get back in the saddle in 2024. So my business tip today is to know your numbers. Just because you own a business doesn't mean, number one, you have to have a business degree. Number two, you don't have to have a lot of knowledge of understanding financial terms, because I sure as heck didn't. When I rolled into this, I didn't know any of that. I was just trying to see patients and take good care of them. But as things grow, you have to know your numbers for tax purposes. Number one, my favorite time of year, because if you don't know your numbers, you're either going to overpay or underpay in taxes and have problems with the IRS. And I just don't like to do that. So know your numbers. And the way I kind of know my numbers, and this may not work for everybody, but this is how I do it, is I do have somebody who does my financial statements for me. I don't have knowledge in that area, what goes in what category, even the categories. They have access to my bank accounts, to my credit cards, and to some of my billing with my largest vendors. So they plug in all of that. So that takes that off of me. But I do my own payroll. So from that standpoint, my practice manager pulls the numbers and the reports, and then she puts them on my desk. I look at the reports and I enter that into a spreadsheet that goes to my payroll provider. I also have somebody who does my payroll, because I don't understand the tax laws, I don't understand the withholding and those things. And I need somebody to do that for me, the W-2s, the 1099s, all of that. And so number one, nobody can embezzle from me because they're entering or padding their hours on their paycheck. I mean, of course, I have to make sure that what they're clocking in and clocking out is reasonable, and that's what my practice manager does. Then I plug those numbers into a spreadsheet, send them off to my payroll provider. That also allows me to look at my provider's productivity on it every 2 weeks. I'm watching their numbers. I can look for trends, consistencies. I'm looking at retail sales, different things like that. So I have an awareness of numbers. The other thing that I do is I track what we bring in on a daily basis. I may not look at it every day, but I'm definitely looking at it every few days and tracking. And so I know which of our days of the week are our highest productivity days. I know which days are lower. I know what we bring in on average every month. I look at our revenue for, say, this February of 2024, and I compare it to February of 2023, looking for trends and patterns and different things like that. So it doesn't take me but a few seconds to do that in the system that we have. So I just have a general awareness. So that way, if I'm seeing something trending down, or I can catch it. The other thing that I do is I look at my bank accounts pretty regularly. I'm at least logged in there once or twice a week. So that way I can see the money in, the money out, making sure that the money in is matching what I'm seeing on our daily reports of revenue, what we're bringing in. One time we had a problem with our credit card processor and they weren't depositing our credit card things. And so the checking account was getting lower, but our production was looking good. And so we were able to catch it and call the credit card company and be like, what's happening? Why is this money not being deposited? So that's another way that I am aware of, and I know my numbers. Another thing that I do is I look at our credit cards, because my practice manager has a credit card. So I look in and kind of see what's being paid or what's being charged on there. My bookkeeper also looks at those things. So sometimes if there's an anomaly or something, she can catch it as well. So having a second set of eyes on there. So that's kind of how I know my numbers. I'm looking at things in live, real time. I'm looking at historical data. And then from that standpoint, that allows me to understand the ebbs and flows, the seasonal things with our business, when employees are out on vacation or illnesses, different things like that. So from that standpoint, if something is really off on our numbers, then I can catch it a little sooner typically. Next video, we're going to talk a little bit about inventory management. Then I'll probably do a video where I talk a little bit about how I handle the income coming into the business as well. I know this is kind of long. Hopefully you stuck with it. Hopefully it's helpful. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys.